Okay. Well, with that being said, let's bring in a married guest,
Right.
and get his opinion. You
Hey,
could go ahead and bring him on in. Hey, Rashad, how you doing? We was in there, we was rapping. I'm sorry about that, but
what's up,
welcome, welcome,
Rashad? Hey,
welcome back, welcome back. You ain't new to this, you true to this. How you
already.
doing?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Look, I was just listening and being entertained by, you know what I'm saying, what you guys were talking about as far as relationships and being married and stuff like that. Um, I want to say it was a couple things y'all was talking about how people actually be on social media and they do fake things and they be posting fake stuff. And I y'all was putting up stuff and I when y'all was talking about that I had wrote something down, and it's like social media is like you can be who you want to be. It's almost like a multiverse, an alternate universe where people try to go to this place where they can be who they wish they could be in real life. That's why people be on there doing stuff like that, and it's really nonsense. Because, like you said, don't you know people know you in real life? Why would
Right.
why are you on here lying? And you doing this publicly. You know what I'm saying? But as far as relationships go and exes being friends with exes, I would say I agree with you on one thing you were saying, Tammy, in because I feel like that in myself, in my growth on how I handle myself in those situations. Like I feel so confident in myself. I feel like, look, I'm a great man. I'm a catch. If my woman gonna sit up there and entertain some stuff and get into that business, and you want to entertain something and you gonna lose what you got over here trying to play around with something over there, be my guest. I can move around and I'm good with that. And then for me, as a married man, I'm going to respect my relationship, and not do those things because I mean, stuff can't happen, things, people getting your DMs and stuff like that. But like y'all was saying, it's up to the person who, it's up to that mate to like treat your relationship right. You got to go ahead and do the right thing, in the midst of that situation because that stuff happens. But I mean, if you care about the person, that's what you will do. But if you just in it for like convenience and other things, that's when that type of game get played like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally up to the individual and how do they really feel about their relationship to even entertain stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's my small take on that.
Have you, with you being married and you and your wife, of course, are friends on social media, have you had like any issues or anything like from when y'all first got together? Were y'all friends on social media or after you got married, or how did that work? How does the dynamic work? Do y'all have any issues, or do y'all talk about the exes or the DMs and things like that? How does that dynamic work for you guys?
Now, when we first got together, we first was trying to really figure out. We actually befriended each other, like we first kind of met on Facebook, but we wasn't friends on Facebook when we met. But we kind of befriended each other, on Facebook, before we even took it to the aspect of marriage. And I was at a different point in my life, about how I felt personally about myself. You know what I'm saying? So I, had issues with stuff like that. Like, no, I don't want you, DMing or being friends with none of your Facebook exes or nothing like that. And then the funny part about it was I was friends with some of my exes, and it's like she didn't, she was just like, whatever. Because I mean, I feel like I'm gonna catch him a good woman. If you gonna do that, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? So I was at that point where I was like, hey, I don't want you to be friends. But once I really, just worked on this relationship and decided this is where I was gonna be, and I worked on it and I started seeing her, because you gotta kind of move social media out of the way in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? You focus on you and that person. Once I really focus and just start focusing on my wife and my woman and my relationship, and I seen that this is it. This is the woman for me. This is gonna work. It just social media just didn't matter no more. You know, uh, that whole, thing. And it was she, but see, the thing was, she was honest with me about stuff like that. Her ex would probably reach out. She'd be like, look at this dude, he trying to reach out to me and all that. And we sometimes sit back and laugh about that stuff. And there was situations where I had some of my exes reach out to me, and I did the same thing with her, but the whole thing is basically, you just have to work on that relationship, and y'all get in that space where don't none of that stuff matter. Because if y'all really in tune with each other, whether ex try to reach out or anything like that, they not gonna stop nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all in tune with each other, y'all know what y'all want. Y'all know this is we a team. We gonna work on this, and we focused on bigger things. You know what I'm saying? Once you get that aspect going, then it's really nothing, that can be able to stop your momentum and where you're trying to go in your relationships.
Now I'm gonna respect
So
you in your. Give you a compliment because I love the way you and your wife present yourself, and that's number one key, because that's the thing that I'm saying, because you work on yourself, inner, before you actually introduce yourself to social media. You don't come on there with negative mind. You got to make sure you're in a good headspace in order to open up that door for everybody else to see. And when you guys do stuff, you don't do it as one, or like any hidden walls or barrier build up. When I go to Dennis Page, I see not only me, Rashid Page, I don't only see him, I see him and his wife or his family. So it's out there as, hey, this is who I am. And you don't have to put a word, but we can see the picture. You see what I'm saying? So you have
yeah,
some women, say for example, if I come up in I see your Facebook pages, your posts, your family, you're a family man, good man, and you got some women out there like, dang, I want a man like that, knowing you very well taken, and then just jump up in your DM knowing that they see this, and you got the, no not so confident man that feel the way that you do. And you have some that come in there and say, hey, I'm gonna do by any means necessary to get Rashid or whatever, which they probably failed. But this is the thing that goes on into people, minds when they go on to social media to try to destroy you. So by the fact that you and your wife build that so they can't break that wall down, I can commend you for that. But you got some people that's not so confident and not so strong as you, and social media just tear them apart because they didn't build that foundation you built before you open them doors to
yeah.
social
And
media.
you know what? To piggyback on what you're saying, it's like that with a lot of people, because people do not work on themselves internally. I started growing within myself, and I'm like, I want to start working on the inside out. Once you start working and you start working yourself from the inside out, it changes you mentally. It allows you to see things that used to bother you wouldn't bother you no more. Things that people say, it won't bother you no more. Things that people try to do, it just don't sit right no more. And the reason people are being distracted and they go through the things they do, because they haven't took the time to just sit back and work on themselves. And I learned that, and what made my marriage even great is that instead of me trying to worry about what my wife's doing, I'm worried about what I need to do. Because if I'm doing right, then everything is going to be moving smoothly. I need to be worried about what I need to do, and what I need to do that's going to be move myself right. And if I'm moving right and I'm moving in the right direction, everything that's with me is coming along with me in that direction. People don't take the time for themselves. They worried about everything else that don't matter. They worried about everything but themselves. So when
Right.
they get attacked by little stuff such as an intangible entity as Facebook, because it's an intangible entity, you can't touch it. You can't touch Facebook unless you're on the phone. You can't touch it. It's not something you can hold in your hand. So you let something that's really an intangible entity control you, because you don't have this inner strength and you haven't worked on yourself inside to be able to deal with what you need to go through outside. So that's why a lot of people be facing those attacks and go through what they go through, and the confidence is not there. And the reason it's not there, because it starts in here. You know what I'm saying? If you're not working it in here, then you're not going to be able to show it out there, and you're not going to be able to handle the attacks that come to you. That's why
What else?
when
Good.
times get hard, people fall, because they don't
Right.
have the confidence or the courage to stay in the fight, stay in the race, stay in the fight, see it to the end, and not allow yourself to be, not allow other people to dictate who you are or who you can be. You know what I'm saying? And you
Right.
can't let people dictate what your marriage and your relationship can be. You know what I'm saying? That's you. You got all the power to do that. So I move and I move and I groove in that way, and that has really made strengthened our marriage, because we've been married for 8 years, been together for 12, and the more that I continue to grow myself and work on myself, it strengthens my marriage, you know and not only it strengthens my marriage, but it strengthens me so much that I'm not worried about people's attacks. I have this saying about people now. What you think of me is not my business. That's something you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from me being so confident in myself. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters about what you think, what you say, what you think, what you see. If I post something on Facebook, that's because I want to post it. I care not if you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? I care if you see it or not. That's just something I wanted to do because I wanted to keep that memory for myself in case my phone mess up or I lose all my data. I had some place to go find some of my memories. You know what I'm saying? But when you're not at that point mentally, you let the weakest things in the world break you down. So, it's a big mental game, a mental hurdle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay with that word. Um,
Mhm. That was good. That was good.
yeah, yeah, it was good, especially to hear from a married man at
Right.
that. So thank you so much for that. We can go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming joining us again, Rashad. We appreciate you. Happy belated
Hey,
Father's Day to you. I know them babies and your wife took care of you.
Right.
So thank you again. You're more than welcome to come back anytime.
yes.
We're gonna go ahead and take it over to Jeff Ash. You can go ahead and close us out, bro.